Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So finally, now that all the wars pretty much have been conducted in season 22, we do have definitive answers about Alliance War season 22 tier 1 meta. So since the war number 4, I started recording every single champion that has been brought in offensively in every single Alliance War I took part in. So I did record them in 2 parts. Every champions, basically all the champions that ASR took in, all the champions that our opponents did take in. Vast majority of these were using stubborn defensive tactic. I think out of all of the wars total, equivalent of 4 BGs, so 120 data entry points, were using Protect global node. But in total, we have over 1600 data points. That means I literally had to go over 1600 champions and tap them in here. And let me tell you, it really did take a while to count it all up, add it all up, add the 1s and 2s and whatever, who else, because there are always some random champions being brought in. So it did take a while. So please do me a massive favor. If you want to see these series in future, because they do take a lot of time, hit that like button. Forward the video to your friends, teammates, perhaps they find it interesting as well. Because yeah, these do take a hell of a long time to record. Right, so now we have several interesting ways how to review this data that we have gathered. As I said, in total I have about 1608 data entry points. I added the classes. And the first things first, I suppose we can take a look at class relationships, because currently I am in the middle of doing my top 10 champion series for every single class, and I already posted what I think basically are the strongest classes in game currently, and this list nearly identically mirrors mine, basically, well, for most part. So we have the skill and cosmic class at the very bottom, quite significantly behind everything else. We can see that when we go by total sums, cosmic class has the least amount of champions being brought in. But to be fair, ASR is quite still significantly boosting that cosmic class. And then we have skill class in second to the bottom when it comes to the relevance of Alliance War offense. And keep in mind that is with Nick Fury being one of top 5 Alliance War options in total. That means that skill class is outside of Nick Fury basically non-existent in Alliance War. Because if you can take a look here, you can see that how many 86 entries of that is Nick Fury. So 86 out of 116 is Nick Fury. And that means the rest of the skill class accounts for 30 mentions from 1600 data entry points. That's very pathetic. And then again, as I said, cosmic class still at the bottom. Then you have tech and mutant class. Actually, well, tech class is like a solid third worst, right? And obviously that again still comes despite Warlock being quite dominantly up there, as well as Ghost being quite relevant. Warlock is ASR's most used champion and globally third most used champion for every other. So overall he places in second, right? So Warlock is second most used champion, and tech class is still quite heavily behind everything else. Then we have mutant class, who everybody keeps touting as the best class in the game. Again, I disagreed with that. I said science class is better. And these results definitely put a smile on my face, because quite significantly, at least when it comes to Alliance War popularity data, mutant class is quite firmly in the middle, fourth. Then Mystic class is quite significantly ahead. Obviously, Mystic class is largely being helped by Dr. Doom, who's one of the most dominant options, as well as Magic. Magic is a very popular Alliance War champion. And then Science class is way ahead. We can see that there's nearly 100-point difference in between Science and Mystic, and well over 100-point difference in between Science and Mutant. So Science class is the dominant class when it comes to Alliance War, in my opinion, in the game overall, but hey. And then obviously you can check the splits and check the results when it comes totals. One second, my bad. When it comes to opponent totals and when it comes to ASR totals, you can pause at any given point, check those out, where you can see discrepancies like opponents actually rely on science more than ASR does, but ASR uses more mystics and so on and so forth. So it's kind of interesting to dig deep in there, but let's just break down most popular champions. So now I'm going to mark in top 10 slots basically. Well, I suppose I'm going to have to mark in top 11 because one of the 10 champions that is being brought in most frequently turns out to be purely synergy champion, and he's never ever used, which is Sabretooth, who accompanies Omega Red. So let's go over general totals, which you can see at the far right side. So overall, Doctor Doom seems to be the winner when it comes to overall kind of like use in Alliance War. So Doctor Doom is officially getting crowned as Alliance War Season 22 King. The most influential, most popular champion of Alliance War Season 22 has been Doctor Doom. In second place overall we can see Warlock. Third place Human Torch. And then we have Quake. And then we have Magic. Still in top 5. I would have never guessed to see Magic in top 5, but hey. And that is especially impressive for Quake and Magic, if you ask me, because the rest of the champions in top 10 are largely getting used as rank 3 6-stars. But for Magic and for Quake, 6-star form doesn't exist, so that means that Quake and Magic are this potent, this popular in a rank 3 6-star largely dominated Alliance War field, which is quite impressive to be honest, and yeah, good on them. Nick Fury in solid 6th place overall, then 7th Omega Red, 8th Archangel, then we have Sabretooth and the Red Hulk, and if we count one below for 10th, would have been Ghost at the very bottom of it. If we do count all of the ASR involvement, and I don't take like any data from ASR, because that is one of the things that I definitely did notice myself, that there are certain Alliance quirks where I'm going to showcase the champion specifically later on, where basically you don't see the champion at all, and then when you go up against the specific Alliance, let's say they bring in 3 things, and then you don't see thing for another 4 or 5 wars from opponents, or they bring in 3 sunspots, and then you don't see sunspot. So there are very specific champions that pretty much kind of like exclusively are more popular to set alliances, and then most of the alliances don't use them, and it's quite interesting to look at that. Like each of the top alliance kind of has their secret favorite strategies, and yeah, I'm not major data geek, but I do like to have fun with data now and then, and this has kind of like relit that excitement, I suppose. Right, so we're gonna look at all the data not involving ASR. Still, Doctor Doom is the absolute Alliance War King, quite dominantly, and Quake is the second most used champion. And we have Warlock in 3rd, Human Torch in 4th, Magic in 5th, Nick Fury in 6th, Omega Red in 7th, Archangel in 8th, Sabretooth, get the F out of here, Ghost in 8th, Wasp, get out, Void in 9th, and the Red Hulk would be in 10th. The Red Hulk is so busy in Alliance War. We can see that Red Hulk is even higher in ASR list because largely of the hazard shift, Incinerate, and Poison. But now it's kind of funny because as far as Alliance War is concerned, Domino is a synergy piece for Red Hulk, not the other way around. Now, scrolling down a bit lower, we have Guillotine 2099, Magneto, we have Mr. Fantastic. White Magneto is not far off. White Magneto is nearly as popular, pretty much, as the Red Magneto for his pre-fights, but Mr. Fantastic is still the Synergy King, there's still the pre-fight King that's being brought in. We have Captain Marvel, Domino, Killmonger. Killmonger actually is quite interesting one as well, because he's being brought in half the time for synergies with Void, because I have seen like 4-star Killmongers being brought in and under-ranked Killmongers, and then half the time he comes in as a standalone champion. So he's in like an interesting spot right now. Then we have Sunspot, that would be like what, spot number 20, I believe. Sunspot, yeah, then Captain America Infinity War, Black Widow Clairvoyant. We have Vision, Cosmic Ghost Rider with 8 mentions, Corvus Glaive with 6 mentions. Ouch. Sucks for Corvus, he has lost a lot of ground Alliance War. He's quite a bit higher up there with 10, but hey. Deadpool X-Force, She-Hulk, Symbiote Supreme, Havoc, Thing, Heimdall, Colossus, Mephisto. Mephisto is way higher for ASR personally. You can see that Mephisto is here with 19 mentions, and Mephisto would have been like 15th place. So Mephisto is significantly more popular in ASR than it is overall. Prox, Black Widow, Spider-Man Stealth Suit, Guardian, 3 Cables, largely used as synergies for Warlock. Massacre, synergies for Domino. Then we have Medusas, we have Icemans. Medusa as well is not as popular in tier 1 as it is in ASR specifically. Because if you go back up, Medusa actually got quite a lot of use here with 20 mentions and like 14th place just above Mephisto. So there are definitely interesting discrepancies. It's up to you which column you kind of want to follow here. I will scroll down them slowly again so you can screen capture as you best please. If you want to use ASR, most used champion list, or overall ASR plus all the opponents, or just the opponents list. So I'm going to scroll through them slowly but surely. You can take your screenshots in whatever moments you want, and if you're that interested. But I think there are a lot of interesting takeaways. Which champions are being used, which champions are not being used, so on and so forth. But yeah, overall, we can quite definitively say that Doctor Doom is the king of Season 22. And then top 3 consists of Warlock, well, the next following 3 would be Warlock, Human Torch, and Quake. Quake, Warlock, Human Torch, Warlock, Human Torch, and Nick Fury is very popular in ASR. But yeah, then Magic, Nick Fury, Omega Red, Archangel, Red Hawk, and Ghost are like overall Alliance War MVPs currently in the current meta, largely going up against stubborn Global North. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I hope I at least managed to put some interesting twist on it, and especially with the class relationships. I found it quite telling as like a relatively decent reflection how I personally look at the game. And yeah, at least I personally did find it interesting and found it fun. So if you did like the video, once again, these take an absolute age to make. So hit that like button, hit that sub button, pass it forward to your friends and your alliance mates. And I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya.